The college football playoffs are almost here, and on the latest episode of the Pain and Panic podcast, Adam and I did a little preview. Mostly Adam gave our picks, talked about real contenders, Notre Dame not making it, or because Miami took their spot, thoughts about that. We've already talked about Penn State hiring their new coach, but did more of a real preview for this football playoffs in college. This clip you're about to see is a segment from that podcast, so if you've already watched the podcast, you're good, but if not, you can watch this and also check out the full podcast that's already posted to this page as well. Enjoy.
For me, my pain of the week, it's twofold. One, Notre Dame. You feel bad for the Fighting Irish who got left out of the college football playoff. You don't feel bad. The committee got it right. Miami deserved to be in over Notre Dame because they beat Notre Dame. How about that? Crazy. The games matter. How about that? But, you feel bad for them because the committee, and for lack of a better term, they were edging them the entire time, Chris. The entire time. That's what they were doing. They had them ahead of Miami every single week, and they were like, nope, Notre Dame's better. I'm like, okay, Notre Dame's in the playoff. We get to last week on Tuesday. They put out their final rankings before conference championship. Notre Dame's at 10, Miami's at 12. Neither team played this weekend. Notre Dame gets jumped by Miami because BYU lost 34-7 in their conference championship game. Neither team played BYU. It makes no sense why this is being a comparative metric because BYU got killed. But Notre Dame gets left out, so feel bad for Notre Dame fans right now. Not really, but feel a little bad for them. But the people I also feel bad for are Notre Dame haters. You know why? Notre Dame also sore losers. They're opting out of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is honestly better than the college football playoff. The Pop-Tarts Bowl is awesome. And they would have played BYU, which is like my dream matchup. Mormons versus Catholics, give it to me. All I want. But Notre Dame haters are also very mad today. You know why? Because it came out today that starting next year, if Notre Dame is ranked inside the top 12, they are guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff.
What?
That next year, if this same thing happened, they would have been in and Miami would have been out because they are contractually would have been in. Because if they said if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12, since they're not in a conference, they're guaranteed a spot. Makes no sense. Makes no sense weird. Whatsoever. But yeah, so that would have happened. So now all Notre Dame haters are mad because they're like, you're kidding me? They don't. So basically, why would they schedule a game? Just go on to play nobody, go undefeated, and you'll be 12-0 and be in the top 12. Yeah, so Notre Dame fans are mad. Notre Dame haters are mad. I'm just laughing here because my prediction was right all along, Chris. You remember back in our college football episode, I made a prediction, a bold prediction. I said that Clemson and Penn State would play in the postseason. I was right. Pinstripe Bowl, Penn State, Clemson, just how we drew it up. New York City, Yankee Stadium. It's exactly what I predicted. I didn't predict them to play in Miami for a national title. Nope, Pinstripe Bowl.
Adam, I completely forgot about that because it was the college episode. It is amazing. You did predict that Penn State and Clemson would be playing in the postseason. That's a great job by you. Yep. I saw Notre Dame isn't playing in the bowl game. That's so stupid. It's so lame.
Yeah, Play the bowl game. I feel bad. Like, a lot of them were going to opt out anyway because, like, Jeremiah Love's going to be a high-round pick as a running back, so, like, it makes sense for him to opt out. But, like, I felt bad when, like, people don't think about this. Like, the seniors on that team that aren't going to the NFL, like, they're college football players. They're going to go, maybe coach, go into the workforce. They found out today that their last college football game was last week, and they had no idea. I said, I feel bad for those kids who are never going to play football again. That could be like, man, I would have loved one more game, and they don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's just like a baby move, like, oh, because you didn't get in the playoffs, you're just not going to play. That's like, who was it? Someone like was going to do a 3-point contest, and then they're like, I'm only going to do the 3-point contest if I'm an all-star. So then they feel obligated to make them an all-star. So like, Pete Alonso does that. He's like, I'm not going to do the home run derby unless I'm an all-star. Well, Pete, you're not that good. So,
Plus, it's a fan vote, dude. It's a fan vote. Stop.
Yeah, I'm just. I think like it's part but it's not always the fan vote. Not even a starter, but like the coaches do like the bench and stuff. Like, Pete, you weren't good enough to be an all-star, but you're powerful, you're energetic, and you hit home runs. So like if you don't want to go, fine. But I just hate when they're like, I'm only gonna do this because of this, and it's like you can still play the bowl game like every other school does.
Plus, the Pop-Tarts Bowl's awesome. It's literally the best bowl game. The Pop-Tart dances. You eat a Pop-Tart if you win. You're going to play BYU, which has been a lot of fun. Like, why don't we play the I love the Pop-Tarts Bowl. No, love it.
Yeah, I think that was stupid. That was my question was where do you stand on it? What I was hearing is people think Notre Dame is better, but Miami had a better resume.
if Notre Dame played Miami now, I do believe Notre Dame would win. But it doesn't matter what I think. The two teams played and Miami won. So like we
That was
can't
week
just
one.
yeah, but you can't just throw the game away. Then why would they ever schedule the game?
No, I know. It was week one, was a long time ago, so a lot is
Yeah.
probably like, feel differently.
The big
I
conversation.
think it is weird that you get jumped when neither one of you play.
Yeah, the big conversation was Alabama, who I thought deserved to be in because their resume says it. But Alabama has not played well. They lost 28-7 in the SEC championship
I
game
actually
with Georgia.
I didn't watch it, but I saw the outcome of that game. I kept up with that, Adam.
Georgia smacked them. But like that would have been one where there would have been a conversation. But yes, in my mind, Miami should have been ranked ahead of Notre Dame the entire time. But they weren't, so I don't understand. The committee found a way to do it wrong and get it right at the same time. Their process was wrong, but they got it right, which I guess some people can say, congratulations, you got it right, which is the important thing. But at the same time, get it right the entire time, and Notre Dame's probably not mad. They would have accepted it, but now they had this false hope that they were going to get in. So,
yeah, I could see, like, I would be mad too if I was a Notre Dame fan, but I feel like most people are saying Miami was, like, the right team. Based on like
they were because they played in Miami beat them. That's just how it has to get, and their metrics are almost identical. So like you have to reward that. So
I think it's a very good, like if it's their similar teams, the tiebreaker should be like.
Now, granted, Reese Davis said something on the show today that this was the toughest and most controversial decision in playoff history. That is completely wrong. They left an undefeated Florida State team out of the playoff because their quarterback was hurt. That was way more controversial than this one. Let's just get that out there. They left an undefeated ACC champion out. So,
yeah, I do remember that, and I'm not even into that much. I saw. Okay, I'm looking at the bracket now, Adam. So let's just do our
James
little
Madison and Tulane.
Yeah, how was James Madison? Like, who was James Madison? I don't know. Tell me.
I love James Madison. First of all, big Dukes fan. James Madison, actually, where Curt Cignetti came, who's the head coach at Indiana, he came from James Madison, so he's built Indiana up immediately after leading. Bob Chesney's a phenomenal coach. He's from Pennsylvania, so soft spot for him. But the reason James Madison's in is because the 5 highest-ranked conference champions automatically get in. Well, the team that won the ACC this year was Duke, who went 8-5. So Duke got left out. James Madison was ranked higher than Duke. So that's why James Madison's in instead of the ACC champion. Miami, who's an ACC team, is in, but they're an at-large team. So that's how James Madison's in. Tulane was also higher ranked. They're from the American Conference. They're ranked 19th or 20th. So, yeah, so that's how
when I see those teams involved, I'm just like, how are they? I've never seen them involved in the playoffs in quite some time. Another thing.
You got a prediction?
Yeah.
Who's going to win? You got a prediction?
Oh, do I have one? No, but I do think it's interesting. Tulane, Ole Miss just lost Lane Kiffin, so I think it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Like, does the
Tulane
team fall apart, or do they?
Tulane and Ole Miss played
this year.
Tulane and Ole Miss played this year. Tulane and Ole Miss actually played this year. Ole Miss won like 41-14.
How did Tulane make it? What was their criteria that they were? Did they win the conference?
Conference champion, the American.
Yeah.
The ACC got left out, so 2 group of 5 teams got in.
What's different this year, which I like. So even though Ohio State did not win the Big Ten because Indiana beat them at the end of the game when Ohio State missed the field goal, Ohio State is still ranked second, or is the 2 seed, so they get the bye.
Yep.
Last year they would have gotten the bye because all the conference champions got the bye.
Yes, they would have been the 5 seed.
Okay.
Actually, Ohio State fans are actually a little upset because they actually think Texas A&M and they think that the Texas A&M Miami draw is harder than the Ole Miss Tulane draw. So they actually would have rather been the 3 seed, and Georgia jumped them after winning the SEC. Didn't happen for them. But I said it's actually funny. That rule was changed because 1 seed Oregon actually got screwed because they had to play Ohio State in their first round. Well, like Penn State played Boise State and Texas played Arizona State. So Oregon, as the only undefeated team, got screwed by it. But now they fix it, which I actually think is funny because Oregon was the 1 seed last year and had probably the hardest draw. They're now the 5 seed this year and have arguably the most favorable draw. So
James Madison. Well, Texas Tech, I actually watched randomly a game of theirs the other day. Or was it last week?
They're good.
I enjoyed it, Adam. It was a fun time.
They're really good. But do you want to stab a prediction who you think's going to win it all?
Ohio State just lost, but I actually always like having a team that's lost before, like, once the season. It takes all the pressure off. If you're undefeated and you're trying to get the perfect season, it's just a pain. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds nice, but they know they're making the playoff. And if you just
Yep.
lose, it's like, if you just get that out of the way, you can just win. They did this last year. They lost to Michigan right before the playoffs. And that was,
Mm-hmm.
like, devastating. But, like,
Do you
all
remember the
right.
score of the Michigan Ohio State game last year?
No.
13-10 on a missed field goal.
Oh, my God. Well, this
Same
year,
score. Same score.
lose, miss field goal, same score. Maybe same thing happens. I don't know
Yep.
much about college like you, Adam. However, I know Ohio State is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I like Texas Tech because of the one time I watched them. So I'm going to pick Texas Tech versus Ohio State. Ohio State wins.
There you go. I have Ohio State defeating Oregon in the national championship. That'd be my national
Not James
championship.
Madison.
Now, I'm rooting for James Madison. Hard. No one's rooting harder for the
If you to
Dukes.
pick, or tell me how many. So no, last year like SMU made it, but like there was no shot they were going to win. You know what I mean? How many of
Mm-hmm.
those teams do we have this year? We were like, they don't even need to be in this playoff bracket.
James Madison's not winning it. Tulane's not winning it. Outside of that, like I could convince. I don't think Miami can win it. I could convince myself they can. I don't think they can.
Yeah.
A&M can. Oklahoma cannot. I don't think Oklahoma or Alabama can win the national championship. I don't think it can happen. Their offenses are just. They're not offensively. They do not have it. So I would actually say they can. I mean, they have the talent to. I just can't. I just would be really surprised. It would be a complete 180 what we've seen from those teams over the last few weeks.
So if you had to include like another team, who would you have included in
Notre
this
Dame.
playoff? Notre Dame.
And Vanderbilt could have had an argument too, but Vanderbilt lost Alabama, so they were never jumping Alabama.
Yeah. So I lost count. How many people do you think are actually a real contender in this playoff?
Well, Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Oregon, A&M. I think there's 6.
Did you don't have
I don't
Ole
think
Miss?
Ole Miss. Without Lane, I have my concerns offensively for them. So plus Pete Golding, he's a first time head coach. Pete Golding hasn't been a head coach, so like your first. I mean, having Tulane's nice, but like your first run as a head coach is going to be in a college football playoff setting. You got to play Georgia in the second round. Like, it's not going to be easy.
So how many was that? 6?
6, yeah.
Okay, last year. Do you remember how many you had, or do you want me to read you the bracket from last year?
I remember the bracket. So Oregon, Oregon could have. Georgia, no. Georgia couldn't have last year because they lost their quarterback in the SEC championship game. Boise State couldn't. Arizona State could. Texas could. Penn State could. Notre Dame obviously could. Let's see, who else? So that's
Ohio
the 7.
State.
Ohio State, yes. So that's 5. Tennessee couldn't last year. Indiana couldn't last year. SMU couldn't last year, and Clemson. Yeah, so there was 5 last year. So there's actually one more team in my mind that could win it.
Okay. Well, I think if Georgia was healthy, you'd probably say yes. So like 6 might
Georgia
be the
had their
right number.
quarterback. Yeah.
6 might be the right number.
They actually had Gunnar Stockton, who's the quarterback this year, was the quarterback, but it was his first start. So it was like, you weren't going to see it. But they lost their quarterback, so I didn't have any faith in them. But
well, you heard it here, college football playoffs. Adam recommends 6 teams make it, just do 2 buys.
I think 16 teams should make it. So
you think 16?
Yep, and I think there should be automatic qualifiers. I think 4 Big 10 teams, 4 SEC teams, 2 ACC teams, 2 Big 12 teams, 1 group of 5 teams, 3 at-larges.
Because what if like the last team sucks in the Big 10?
No buys. Well, I like it because then we can get rid of subjectivity. Like, why?
I don't think you should like limit it that much. I think there should be like, clear guidelines more so of like you need to have this,
or
and
just
this.
do this. Or there should either be set guidelines or no guidelines. We just got to figure it out. Either set or none. Let's just figure it out and let's go from there.
They're not going to want less playoff games because that's just less revenue. However, I did like 4 didn't seem like enough, but I did like the idea of like, wow, this is the best of the best. There weren't many like terrible teams that ever made it, whereas
but they screwed it up a lot. They screwed it up a lot, though.
Playoffs, you're going to have some dud games because some teams aren't that good, but they get in anyways.
Same in the NFL. If they
expand it more, it's going to be like,
it happens in the NFL every year. It happens in the NFL every year. We have games where it's like, that team's not winning. Come on now. Like, why are we playing the game?
I just think that in football we've seen some like miracle wins like that. Where in like I just don't think we're going to see it. I don't know. I think college there's a bigger gap.
Well, you got to realize if they expanded to 16, Texas would have been in, who went 9-3 and has 3 wins over the top 10 teams in the country.
Okay.
So, like, that would have been a way for them to get in. Vanderbilt would have got in, who's a great story. They have one of the best offenses in the country. There's teams that USC would have got in, maybe. You know, there's definitely teams there that had an argument. So, Utah and BYU would have got in. That would have been fun.
I just like the feel of a smaller playoff because, like, obviously the more teams sounds good, but I'm like, you want to make it exclusive. You want this, like, very, like, elite level, and you want teams to feel like they missed out. You know what I mean? You don't want to feel like everyone got in.
Yeah, but hey, let's talk. What is the most popular playoff format in the country?
You're probably going to say college basketball.
Yes.
I think what's better about college is, like, no one really knows all these teams, or if people are able to keep up with all these football teams more so than the basketball teams.
Well,
So the basketball teams, and also because it's the nature of basketball, I think there's so much variance in basketball where there's more of these upsets, and it's like they're all happening at once, and like each game doesn't feel as big. Where in college, each game is like
you
3
would
hours.
You
alone.
would see upsets. You would see upsets. I would tell you that. It's not just going to be the best
I
teams.
know, but I think college, it's literally meant to be madness, whereas college football is meant to be like, who's really the best team? Or in college, it's like, what team kind of just gets on a lucky Cinderella run.
But
or
also,
even it's not Cinderella run, just gets on a run.
Here's why you expand to 16. No buys. Everyone gets a home game. All 8 top seeds get a home game, which would be big revenue for the schools. That's how you convince them to go to 16.
I know, but you could increase revenue by doing more games, more whatever. And, like, I get that, so you don't want to do less, but I'm like, I don't want to have too many teams making it. You know, because then it takes, like, then the first round wouldn't have any meaning anymore. It's just going to be like, okay, now the next round's when I'm actually watching, like, the playoffs. You know, the first round feels like...
The first round would still matter. Like, you'd still have the 8 versus 9 game. Oklahoma-Alabama is the biggest game of the first matchup, and that game would still happen. Miami-Texas A&M is still happening. Like, those games would still happen.
Anything more than 8 is when it's just like... I think the buys work with, like, the 12, but...
You know how many teams get in the NFL? 14. You know how many teams get in the college? 14 out of 32. In college football, it's right now 12 out of 136.
But I just think the gap between these teams is so much less than the NFL, where in college we've seen like some just teams where it's like...
Oh, yeah, there's definitely the gap's closer. But no, you should just go to 16. Everyone gets a home game. Everyone's happy. We get more games. We get more people watching. Plus, upsets would happen. That's how it happens. You remember Ohio State looked unbeatable last year, but right before they made the playoff, they lost to a 7-win Michigan team.
That I don't think is a normal situation. That is a rivalry
that
goes back generations. You know what I mean? Like
Bama lost to Oklahoma, who won 4 games. They lost to Vanderbilt, who went 7-5 last year. Ole Miss lost to Florida. Texas lost to Florida this year, who went 4-8.
I'm not the college expert like you, Adam. I'm just saying more so from like an outsider perspective. I don't want more teams making the playoffs. You know what I mean? Especially in college. Like, I want just seeing the best.
4 more teams and no buys. That's good for
No, so then that's like so many more first round games.
Yeah, it goes from 4 to 8. It's not that many.
That's double. That's double.
Yeah. Chris, there's 64 games a week. There's 64.
So that's too many for me.
Yeah. Well, that's for you. I'm talking for people that want to watch the college football playoff.
I don't think adding more teams is going to actually add to the product. I think it's going to give people more product that could make more money, but I think it'd be better just like...
So you think it's better right now that James Madison's in and Notre Dame's out?
I'd rather swap them.
Well, okay. Let's swap them. So James Madison's in. BYU would be in. But what about Vanderbilt and Texas, who would have an argument that they're better than those teams? They're sitting there.
Adam, I like that teams feel like they get kicked out and they want to be in. That's how I like the playoffs. Being like, oh, we missed it. I don't want every good team that has a chance to get in. You know what I mean? Like,
so you don't want good teams to get in because
have it in a regular season then. Like,
but Vanderbilt has the same record as Notre Dame. So how is Notre Dame better than Vanderbilt? Who
Adam,
says that?
I don't actually know because I don't watch teams play. I'm saying I like that there's teams that feel like they should have gotten in.
Yeah, there still will be. You get to 16, I guarantee the 17th team's going to feel like they should have been in.
I know, but
8-5 Duke argued they should have got in.
I just am like, all right, they're not gonna actually win though. You know what I mean? Whereas when
I
it
don't
was
disagree. Vanderbilt could easily go in and win it. I wouldn't have been
the national
surprised.
championship,
I mean, they could win through the playoff. They'd eliminate someone that we think could win the national championship.
I think it should be an exclusive level to make the playoffs, and there should be many teams being like, we should have got in. We actually had a good chance. You know what I mean?
I'm leaving 120 teams out of the thing. I think it's exclusive. I think it's exclusive.
I think there's a clear but there's not 120 actual teams. It's like that are actually really have a real chance.
Yeah, there's like 50 actual teams, and I'm leaving out 34. I'm leaving.
But with all the bowl games and stuff, they're fine.
Then, Chris, you realize the bowl games are dead now. If Notre Dame opted out, everyone's opting out. If they don't want to play, no one's going to start playing.
I feel like the bowl games still have meaning, honestly. Like, they're always on. You know what I mean?
Well, they're on, but now that people are like, man, why would we do this?
Did the Penn State Rose Bowl win have no meaning to you?
Against Utah? Well, that meaning to me, I guarantee there's a lot of people that said it didn't. That was in a 14 playoff format now. Now we're in a 12-team playoff format.
Still. I think bowl games still matter.
Plus, because here's the thing. This will happen if Penn State, they play in the Pinstripe Bowl. Last season, a bunch of fans spent a lot of money to watch them play a home playoff game, go play in the Fiesta Bowl, and go play in the Orange Bowl. Are they going to spend money to go watch them play in New York this year as 6-16?
I would not, because I think the team sucks. But
I'm going to go watch them. Dang right, baby. Yeah. Yankee Stadium.
I'm not watching this team that, was preseason AP number 2.
Yeah. But hey, they got a new coach, Matt Campbell.
How does that work? He's not going to coach this game.
No, Terry Smith will coach. Terry Smith's going to coach the team.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's going to be doing during that game. Is he just
going to be watching? Yeah, he'll be on the sideline. He'll watch the game. Terry Smith is his new assistant coach, so, I mean, he'll be there to support him.
Do you think there's going to be any, weirdness? Or do you think Terry Smith is going to be like, hey, I'm the assistant, you're the head coach? Or is it going to be like some players are looking at Terry like, I want you, Terry?
Terry's going to have all new players, so we'll do his job.
Do you think everyone's going to leave?
Not everyone. A lot of them. Because Matt Campbell's going to bring his...
Are we going to take all of Iowa State's players?
They're going to take a lot of them. Welcome to college football.
So we are now going to be Iowa State. West Virginia is going to be like a lot of Penn State.
Well, Virginia Tech, not West Virginia. Tech.
I'm sorry, Virginia Tech. I think luckily for Penn State, a lot of these guys that I'm attached to at least and know the names of were seniors. So it's not like they're taking my children. It's like, oh, they graduated and left. I guess
they might take the guy who shares your name.
That's
Luke
okay.
Reynolds. Yeah.
That's okay. He was a little bit of a letdown. I wanted him to be Tyler Warren 2.0.
He had a bad year. Andrew Raplier outplayed him by a lot. So